Patrick Brickman. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. What's your name? First and last, and can you spell it for me, please?
My name is Dick Cunningham, and my last name is spelled Cunningham.
All right, thank you very much. So you were in town for the game, is that correct?
Yes, I am.
And when I was talking to you, you said you were an Arkansas alum and you played for them as well.
I did.
So what does the Alabama-Arkansas game mean to you then?
Well, to be perfectly honest, when I was playing at Arkansas, we didn't play Alabama. We were in competition for the national championship every year, but we were in the Southwest Conference, and of course Alabama was in the SEC Conference. So the likelihood of playing Alabama could only occur in a bowl game like the Orange Bowl. For example, in 1964, Alabama played Texas in the Orange Bowl, and of course Texas won, but sort of helped us win the national championship that year.
So what brings you to town for the Alabama-Arkansas game?
That's a good question, because the way Arkansas is playing this year, I'm real concerned. In fact, I thought about just having a root canal without Novocaine, which I thought would be less painful than coming here to watch this game. But it has become a pretty good rivalry, and we have a first-year head coach who just took over the program, and of course Coach Saban is legendary already. I don't see anybody beating Alabama for 2 or 3 years, to be honest with you, and that includes us.
So you just called the game a rivalry. What do you think makes this game different than perhaps an Alabama-Auburn or an Alabama-LSU game?
Well,
Or even an Arkansas-LSU?
Nothing could be different or even close to Alabama-Auburn. Our son and daughter went to Auburn. In fact, my son played football at Auburn. And you can talk about Michigan and Michigan State or USC and Notre Dame, but there's no rivalry like Auburn-Alabama. I mean, that's in the same state. Families have gotten divorces over that ball game. It's unrivaled, really, as a competition.
And so what would make this game different than any of those other games? Because this seems to be a little bit more of a friendly kind of rivalry over the years.
Well, it's a fairly new rivalry, of course, and you know, anytime anybody plays Alabama, that's a step up. You know, just because of who Alabama is and the history of Alabama and their national championships. So anybody that plays Alabama, it's a privilege and an honor. And Arkansas takes that sort of thing to heart. And so this has become not only a rivalry, but Arkansas always seems to play their best game of the year against Alabama, which is kind of unique, and maybe tomorrow they'll rise to the occasion. That would be very nice.
Well, let's hope not. One last thing. Tell us a little bit about your time as a player, either in, for Arkansas or for the Buffalo Bills.
Well, I played at Arkansas at a time when things were really good. During the recruiting process, my mother wanted me to go to Texas A&M, and my dad wanted me to go to Texas. So I decided to go to Arkansas and settle the family feud. And it was a good thing. While I was at Arkansas, we won 29 football games and lost 3. We won the national championship in '64, although there is some consternation with Alabama about that because Texas beat them in the Orange Bowl. And my career at Arkansas was a lot of fun and successful. 8 years in the NFL, 6 with Buffalo, a year in Philadelphia, and a year in Detroit was likewise a lot of fun. The best thing I can say about it is that I met my wife in Buffalo, and we were married in Buffalo, and our kids were born in Buffalo, and that's the best thing that happened to me in pro football.
That's awesome. I appreciate you. That's all we've got.